Trojan Sports Now.
Welcome back to Trojan Sports Now. Let's get into some more Trojan football. The football team is coming off a week where they took the then #2 team Clemson Tigers to the brink and almost pulled off the upset. Now the Trojans will turn their focus toward Southern Miss. Jahmal Kennedy has more.
I believe it all starts at practice.
That's how you kick off a week of preparation and start to gear up for another win. But this week's opponent will be no slouch.
Got a big challenge this week with Southern Miss. Conference USA runner-ups last year. They're playing with a lot of confidence, beating Kentucky in the season opener. They're 2-0. A lot of returners coming back off that runner-up team last year that went to a bowl.
And just like last week's game, this week brings big aspirations.
This is a measuring stick to where we're at as a program. Southern Miss is in year 4 of a rebuild. And obviously, they got over the hump in year 3 and got to a conference championship game. They just beat an SEC opponent in year 4. We're in year 2. And coming off a game that we played the #2 team in the country right down to the wire.
After a week where the defense recorded 5 tackles for a loss and only allowed 3.8 yards per carry, they will have to play even better this week.
We got to figure out a way to get pressure on the quarterback. And then we've got the running back. I think everything starts with their offense with Ito Smith at running back.
And after a week of rushing for over 170 yards against the then #2 team in the nation, the Trojans feel like they can keep it going.
Really, I say just stay focused. We moved the ball well last week. Saturday, we moved the ball well. I feel like if we use that same mentality and just keep moving forward and build off of that, like you said, gain that momentum, I feel like we can be unstoppable.
We're focused on us. I think Coach Brown's always said that during his first 3 games. They're a good defense. They were shut out last week.
If we can go to practice with the right mindset to feed off of what just happened this past weekend, I think we'll be all right.
Jahmal Kennedy, Trojan Sports Now.
The Trojans will travel to Hattiesburg, Mississippi for a matchup with the Golden Eagles. Saturday's game will begin at 6 p.m.
This weekend, Jason Hamilton and his team will open conference play at home against a rising power in Appalachian State. App State currently leads all Sunbelt teams in wins with 5, and Hamilton knows this is an important weekend coming up.
They're always a tough team to play against. Bring a lot of energy. They're athletic. They're going to press you, and they probably have a statement to make because this is their 3rd year in the conference, and the last couple of years it's been South Alabama and Troy at the top, and they're someone who is very capable of being in that top group. So it's going to be a tough game, first conference game. Everybody wants to get off on a good start. So we've got to do a good job protecting our home field and just be prepared that we're going to play against one of the better teams that I would expect to finish in the top half of the conference.
The Mountaineers and Trojans will square off over at the Troy Soccer Complex on Friday night. That game is set for 7 p.m.
And the cross-country team has a week off, something that head coach Elliott Blount says is much needed before their next meet.
It's huge for us. We haven't really crushed them in workouts yet, and these next 2-3 weeks we're going to kind of ramp up the intensity. I think we've done like three or four workouts to date, and then this weekend off, the next weekend where I will rest some of the top runners, and then they'll open back up or start racing again the 1st. But the home meet, the 24th. 10 o'clock start for the women, 10:45 start for the men, 5K and 8K respectively. We'll get some people out on that course. Conference competition in Georgia State there. So we're going to be able to, after this week of training and the following week leading into that meet of training, I think we'll have a better handle on where we are in our fitness, and then hopefully that will produce a better result.
The Trojans will next run when they host the Trojan Cross Country Invitational down in Dothan on the 24th.
Senator Kirkpatrick and his Trojans will return to the court this weekend down in Starkville, Mississippi to take part in the Maroon Classic hosted by Mississippi State. Troy will open play Friday at 2 p.m. against Portland and will face the host team, Mississippi State, later on at 7 p.m. The Trojans will round out the tournament with 2 more matches on Saturday against Eastern Illinois and former Sun Belt opponent FIU.
The Trojan men's golf team will return to play on Sunday at the Intercollegiate at the Grove in Tennessee.
Reigning Sun Belt women's golf champion Trojans will hit the greens for their fall opener Friday up in Franklin, Tennessee for the Mason Rudolph Championship. The Trojans will be led in play by Sun Belt Golfer of the Year, senior Fatima Fernandez-Cano, who became the first golfer, male or female, to win that honor in Troy Athletics history. That's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Check us out online at youtube.com/Troy Trojan Vision to catch anything you missed.
For Jahmal Kennedy, I'm Ryan Renfrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Trojans.
Trojan Sports Now.